we just have a couple minutes, and I want to broach a very controversial topic. People in the blogosphere tend to be, a little bit of geeks.
Okay.
So,
not a word I would use.
yeah. So the really, a central question that can be a window to the soul is Star Trek or Star Wars? Where do you stand?
Well, I guess I'm more of a Star Trek fan than Star Wars, but I love Star Wars too, particularly the first 3 episodes that were out that are confusingly episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
But I really enjoyed those. But boy, I tell you, I was a space junkie back in the 1960s. I thought I was going to grow up to be an aerospace engineer. I didn't think I'd ever fly. It didn't seem like something I wanted to do. But maybe I was a geek in my time. I really enjoyed science fiction. So Star Trek I got hooked on, and then Star Trek: The Next Generation I really enjoyed. I thought the great plots, great stories, great episodes. Star Wars was a lot of fun, but I can go back and watch Star Trek over and over and over again. Star Wars, I don't think I can watch that as often as I do Star Trek.
All right, there you have it, viewers. You be the judge. Doug, thanks a lot. This was fun.
This was fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
enjoyed this conversation. We covered a lot of ground and we got in a lot of substance. So, best of luck.
Thanks. Thanks very much.
It's really great to see how all the candidates are addressing the issues.
Great. Well, thanks. And I hope people will visit the website. And they made it easy for me to understand. It's just simply DougRacine.com. If I can remember it, you can remember it too.
Great. Good night, people.
Good night.
Bye.
Knowledge and peace are there. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked. We ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
As we close, I need to ask you the question. As the world of the internet and bloggers tend to be sort of science fiction aficionados, there's a central issue of concern that has now sort of been tainted by John Odom of Green Mountain Daily, who insists there's only one right answer to this question. But I actually think it's a matter of taste. So the floor is open.
That's good.
That's open source all the way. Yeah. So Star Wars versus Star Trek, where do you stand? What's your preference and why?
With all due respect to John Odom, my answer is Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, really?
And the more recent version of Battlestar Galactica. I am a fan of Star Trek, and actually the most recent movie was I thought quite good.
From last summer, right?
Yeah, yep. Star Wars, I have to say the first 3, which were actually the latter 3, were much better than anything that had Jar Jar Binks in it. Thank you very much. But I believe Battlestar Galactica,
really,
with a female Starbuck.
Okay. This is the latest one, not the 1978.
Not the 1978 one. The latest one I thought was extraordinary. And my question is, do we know who the Cylons are in this race for governor? That's what I think we need to keep an eye on. So
I'll work on translating that. The Cylons are they Borg-like? Are they bad guys? Or are they? I'll learn. I'll educate myself.
So, and I would recommend to anyone Battlestar Galactica.
Is it still in the air? Is it still running?
No. It finished its full season. You can actually rent it, which I highly recommend.
Okay.
And you can, but be careful. Make sure you don't have anything to do the next day, because once you see one episode, you'll want to see the next and the next. It's actually superb science fiction.
Okay. Yeah. That's exciting. There's a third option, people. Who knew?
A third way.
That's right.
Fresh, new ideas that we can bring to the table.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
So on that note, we will say goodnight, and thanks so much. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
We're signing off. Take care, everyone.
Technology provides, and they seek the primitive.
There are many who are uncomfortable with what we have created. It is almost a biological rebellion. They profound revulsion against the planned communities, the programming, the sterilized, artfully balanced atmospheres. They hunger for an Eden where spring comes.
We have just enough time to really get at the character question of Star Trek versus Star Wars. And the history here is Doug Racine weighed in first with preference to Star Trek. John Odom of Green Mountain Daily sort of presented that to the world as the right answer.
Oh, there you go.
And then that kind of spoiled the question. Matt Dunne saved it by expanding the question and answering Battlestar Galactica, the 2004 version.
Right.
So now it's kind of, it's open season. I guess initially I want to ask, is that an inherently sort of gender biased geek internet culture
that's
question
a good question.
to begin with?
In my family,
and then you can share your
in my
response.
family, the question would be Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I actually am Harry Potter. The rest of my family's Lord of the Rings. It's just a little too violent for me. Those orcs and all that is a little too
so you
graphic.
don't mind being an outsider?
And I don't mind being an outsider. And in the Star Wars, Star Trek question, maybe it's ageist because I loved Star Trek. I was addicted to Star Trek reruns as a kid.
Okay.
And I loved the first, the Star Wars of my generation.
Right.
These new
The
Star
70s
Wars
ones.
just didn't do it for me.
Sure.
Even with the better graphics, and the computer graphics.
So the best of Star Trek versus the best of Star Wars, where do you come down?
I was a Trekkie as a high school kid. I really liked
We're
Star
talking
Trek.
Kirk, Spock, original
Yeah, that's
series.
right. That's
Okay.
right. You know that.
Okay, you can do All right. Do you know Next Generation at all?
I know a little bit Next Generation, but it doesn't do it for me
I'm
in the same
completely
way.
Next Generation illiterate.
You are.
Actually, yeah. So, wow, Star Trek is just
But I think
taking
you've
the-
got the wrong question. I think it's
Really?
Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
Wow.
That's
kind of a fantasy. It's not so much
science fiction, but fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you want to go to character questions, you should know that I am a science fiction buff in terms of reading.
Okay.
And I think it's because I was a philosophy major in
Yeah,
college.
there are a lot of
and
deep
so
questions that are addressed
you
in
can
these
take
costume dramas.
Well, what happens is if you're taking ethical questions out of our world and bringing it into
Distilling them a little
yeah.
bit. Right.
Anyway, that has little to do with being governor.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's ethical, philosophical. Actually, the way this campaign has gone, it's been nicely focused on issues.
Yes.
And,
yeah. These are tough
that ought to
times for
continue.
Vermonters. Yeah, tough
Yeah.
time for Vermonters, and I'm running for governor to get us back
Yeah,
on track.
so it's been kind of a no nonsense campaign. So thanks for
Sure.
maintaining that tone. I'm getting the real. We gotta go. It's
Good.
been fun. We could keep going. Good night, everyone, and thanks so much, Deb.
Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye.
Bye now.
One. We are one. One is the beginning. Are you one, Herbert? I'm not Herbert. He's not Herbert. We reach. If you will state your purpose and your objectives, perhaps we can arrive at a mutual understanding. If you understand one, you know our purpose. I would prefer that you state it. We turn our backs on confusion and seek the beginning. What is your destination? Planet Eden.
That planet is a myth.
And we protest against being harassed, pursued, attacked, seized, and transported here against our wishes.
Right, brother.
We do not recognize regulations nor the existence of hostilities. We recognize no authority save that within ourselves.
Well, whether you recognize authority or not, I am in on the ship.
Getting the word, we don't have terribly much time, so I'm going to do a clunky little segue here.
Okay.
From patents and innovation to, I don't know, phasers and communicators. And,
Those are pretty innovative.
Yeah. Not a terrible segue, I guess. But the character question remains on the table. And that question is, of course, where do you stand on the issue of Star Trek or Star Wars? You can talk
that's
about,
hard. That's hard.
You can talk about the question before you answer it. But so it's not an easy question.
Oh
for you,
no,
is it?
no, this isn't an easy. I can take the pledge easily, but I think I got to go with Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Congratulations,
I think it's Star Wars.
you're the first.
Oh,
Yeah. So I guess I'll ask why. This is great.
Because of all the wonderful, innovative things that there are in Star Wars. The gadgets and the different creatures, the way that, you know, that you blend people with, you know, are just wow.
Right.
You know,
right.
it really is. It's just wow.
I've talked to some people that are pro Star Wars, and they do mention I guess, how much more, I guess, cinematic it is. Like even the Star Trek movies feel like just really long TV episodes. And, you know, that's a fair,
So
that's
it's
a fair
actually
criticism. But yeah, if you want the count, it's Doug Racine's Star Trek, Matt Dunne threw in Battlestar Galactica, just total out of the... and Deb Markowitz said Star Trek, but she also said the right question is Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. Like that I'm actually not even asking the right question.
Oh,
so.
yeah, but they're different. That's a different genre.
It doesn't go go as deep as the Star Wars Star Trek one.
No.
Do you have a favorite Star Wars character?
Oh. That'd be hard. I don't think I could pull that one.
Mine was Han Solo, and I don't know what that says about me, but.
If we do not act quickly, all will be lost forever. I ask you to help us. No, I beg you to help us.
And the Jedi are similar in almost every way, including their quest for greater power.
The Sith rely on their passion for their strength. They think inwards, only about themselves.
And the Jedi don't.
Due respect, Master, is he not the chosen one? Is he not to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force?
So the prophecy says.
A prophecy that misread could have been.
He will not let me down. He never has.
I hope right you are.
I'm getting the word. We just have a minute, so we got to close with this question. It's a character question, and we need to know where you come down on the issue of Star Trek versus Star Wars. What's your preference?
I'm a Star Wars guy.
You are, and why?
Yeah. I just think that they had their act together.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay. Any favorite episodes or characters or any? Anything close to your heart there?
When I go, I'm a guy that looks forward, and it's really true. I'm not just spinning you. Right. And when I come out of a movie, whether it's Star Trek, Star Wars, or any episode, I very rarely look back at it. So, I have friends who can recite every episode, and I'm thinking, what's Vermont's next energy policy? What are we going to do about healthcare? Or if I'm in my business, what are we going to do to make a buck next week?
Right.
So I don't spend much time looking back.
Okay. So you don't have
I'm an old
figurines at home and
no, I never did the figurines.
Helmets and stuff. Okay.
I was counting money, and I'll be as good as governor with the taxpayers' money as I've been with my own. I'm fiscally conservative and very tight.
All righty. We'll close it right there. That was very enlightening and a lot of fun to
well, it's great to be
get
here.
Caught up and get some perspective on the last couple of years and the next 7 weeks? Are we counting weeks?
7 weeks to the primary. We need your help. Yeah. Get out and vote. ShumlinforGovernor.com. We need your help.
All right, and there's the website right there. Good night, everyone. VT Blogosphere TV signing off.
Hello, Hal. Do you read me? Do you read me, Hal?
Affirmative, Dave. I read you.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do. This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me. And I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.